fellow CS112. Today I'll be going over a quick solution to Lab 5, which has to do with the Powerpuff Girls wanting fruits. So the gist of this assignment is that you have a fruit basket in a specific order that has a bunch of random fruits in it. You are to ask the customer, which in this case is a Powerpuff Girl, what they want, where they want to start in the basket, and how many fruits they want in between their next fruit that they get, and they each get exactly 5 fruits. So again, this is another question. That has multiple parts to it. The first is actually being able to increment and get the fruits they want with the start, as well as the step between each of the fruits. And then lastly is limiting it to 5 fruits. So first we're going to focus on the first part, which is actually getting a proper list, and then we're going to limit it to 5 fruits. So I'm going to create a code skeleton real quick, and the first thing I'm going to do is ask for user inputs. The next is going to be display user fruits. So display their fruits, and that's right. This really only has 2 steps to it, because we know the full power of the range function. The range function being having 3 potential variables, where the first would be the start, which is where you want to start in a container or a specific range. The stop, so how long you want to iterate for, as well as a step. And that is exactly what we want to do for this entire question. So if we know how to implement range correctly, we can solve this question. Again, so we want to have a specific start, we want to iterate through the entire fruit basket, and we want to step based on how many fruits they want between their next fruit. And let's just start coding right away. I already sort of made this fruit basket from the PDF because I didn't want to have to code through that, because that would be a nightmare having to watch me do that. So the first thing we're going to ask for is the start, which is I'm going to cast to an int right away, because I know I'm going to be working with that as an index later. And I'm going to say, where do you want to start, with a space so it looks nicer in the thing. And since I know that index is an element -1, or sorry, yeah, an index -1 is equal to the element. Let's say if they wanted the first apple, if they were to enter 1, well, 1 is actually represented by banana within this list. So we want to immediately subtract it by 1, and you can do that right here next to the input statement, since this itself is an integer. And moving on, the next thing we want to ask for is the step. So I'm just going to, again, convert that to an integer, because we want to do math with it, and say, how much do you want to step by? And I'm not going to add or subtract anything there. So I'm just going to dive right into this for loop, and I'm going to say, let's say for fruits in the range of, and we already have our start variable up above, and how long do we want to iterate through that? Well, we want to iterate through our entire fruit basket. Fruit basket itself is a list, so we want a number. We want the length of fruit basket. We want the length of fruit basket. And lastly, we already have our step variable from above as well. And if I just simply print something out like fruit basket fruits, that will display exactly what I need. Let's just test this out real quick. So I'm going to type in python cat.py. I have a small int for base 10. We'll fix this together. Well, I made a rookie mistake. I said int. That doesn't do anything. You can't do that ever. So anyways, let's pretend that didn't happen. So where do I want to start? Let's start directly with the first fruits, and I want to increment by, let's say, 3. All right, there's a cat walking on my keyboard right now. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's check if we got this right. So obviously I'm starting with the first fruit, which is an apple, which I got correct. And then we're going to increment by 3. So 1, 2, 3, we have an orange. 1, 2, 3 with a pineapple. 1, 2, 3 with another pineapple, 1, 2, 3 with an orange, and so on and so forth, but it works. Something that was unclear to me in the GTA was whether or not it would be inclusive or exclusive, because it did list step as the distance between your current fruit and your next fruit. Well, if you're given 2, then that would mean that there are 2 fruits, 2 distances between you and the start. But it turns out if you actually started at 1 and had the distance of 4, that you wouldn't end up with exactly 5 fruits. within your thing. So it's actually supposed to be inclusive. So if you're given 2, you're supposed to go 1, 2, and then include the pineapple. Now we didn't actually realize that at first. So if you get points taken off for having the other solution, just email the GTA and you should give you points on that. So anyways, moving on. Now we need to limit this to only print 5 fruits. Well, we're going to have something very useful that a lot of you guys should use in your projects, such as called a counter variable. You can call it whatever you want. It's just a variable name. I'm going to set it to 0. So we only want 5 fruits. So I'm going to say if counter is equivalent to 5, or sorry, if it's so let's just say if it's equal to 5. Yeah, 5. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart right now. If it's less than 5, that's when I'm going to actually print fruit basket fruits. I apologize if you can hear my cat screaming in the background. He's hungry or something. That's when I'm actually going to want to print the fruit because we still have less than 5 fruits. And I'm going to increment the counter. So I'm going to say counter plus equals 1. And let's say it is no longer less than 5. So now we have enough fruits for them. I am just going to break instantly. So now this list right here should shrink down to only, if we do 1, and I think we said 3 last time, it should be only 5 fruits, which it is. So that was a quick solution to this lab. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I need to go feed my cat.